I'm going to show you all the gear that I'm going to be using for a couple backpacking trips here in the summer of 2022. First trip back in the fall of 2018 was 4 nights and 40 miles section hike on the JMT from Devil's Postpile north to Tuolumne Meadows. And the preparation for that trip is what really got me the essentials for backpacking. And over the last 3 to 4 years, I've refined and even kind of traded up and swapped out some of my gear, which brings me to this point today. And I'll show you some of the things that I'm going to be using for my trips this summer. So the first thing to start with is a good backpack. The backpack that I'm currently using today is a backpack that I had custom made by Superior Wilderness Designs. They are a great little company out of Michigan. This backpack is just under 2 pounds. And some of the things that I love about this particular pack was I was able to customize it myself. So start with a good backpack. The next big essential that goes with that is a tent. And in this bag, we have the Z-Pack Triplex tent. This is our second tent. The first tent that we started out using was the Big Agnes Copper Spur UL2. Love that tent. In fact, when we go camping and hiking with our kids, the kids get that tent, and then we use the Z-Pack Triplex ourselves. You'll also see that inside there's a square here. This is actually just a sheet of plastic paint drop cloth that we had laying around in the garage. I was concerned about the durability of the bottom, particularly in areas where it's really dry and rocky. It's a 2 mil plastic drop cloth that we just had sitting around, and when it gets torn and used up, I'll just go cut another piece for now. So that's what I'm trying out this summer in terms of the drop cloth. This is our air mattress. So we do have, ignore the Nemo band here, but we do have the Thermarest air pads to sleep on, slightly more comfortable and also lower weight. This one comes in also, I think, right around a pound, but I really love the Thermarest. Fits us really well, very comfortable, and actually works really well with the sleeping bag that I have. I really love this, and it's the Enlightened Equipment quilt. The one that we went with is the 800 down fill. So this puts this sleeping bag, I think, a little bit over a pound as well. What I love about the Enlightened Equipment is that this one does have a toe box. I know some people traditionally like quilts that are just that, a quilt. I forgot to mention this is a 10C bag. One of the things that I really wanted was to have a closed-in toe box, but then it has, the top half does have that quilt design, and it does come with some straps to help fasten it to the sleeping bag so that you're not sliding all over the pad and that you get that full warmth factor. The pillow that I like to sleep with is just a really small Seat to Summit Aero pillow. This one is a large. We have a couple other different sizes. Good inflatable pillow is a must, or else I won't get any sleep at all. One of the things that gets tired of doing every night is blowing up that air mattress. And so one of the items that we purchased a year or two ago was this Neo Air Thermarest bag. And what it does is it has a small hole here at the top that it has a little plastic seal around it, and you put it over the air port on your Thermarest, and what you can do is kind of fluff it up, and as you roll the bag, it pushes air into the air mattress. What's really nice is this also doubles as a stuff sack. So what I end up doing is I put my pillow, my air mattress, and my sleeping bag all in the bottom of here, arrange it nicely, and I will put it in the bottom of my backpack for my sleep system. In the past, we have used an MSR pot that's designed to really feed two, and normally I would take that, but again, since one of my trips is by myself, I did invest this summer in the smaller version of the MSR pot. So really designed for one camper, but has a lot of the same features as the other bigger model that we have. So it comes with a foldable burner, It has a little holder to pick up the hot cup. It also comes with a measuring cup on the bottom of the sleeve here, which fits nicely. It has the plastic lid. I always throw in my lighter to light my fuel, which is one thing I'll have to buy when I get to where I'm going. And then it also comes with this little pouch to put your all your goodies in there. So that'll be my cooking system. Because this doesn't have a built-in cup, I will be bringing just a very inexpensive foldable cup so that I can basically have coffee, hot chocolate, and water in the mornings when I'm getting up, and then I can use my pot for boiling as well. So I have a knife. So this is a pocket knife that I actually keep within my cook set. I also will bring my titanium spork. Second item that I find really neat, this nifty little Sea to Summit Ultra Sil bucket. So it comes in a pouch this big. It weighs about an ounce. It's super tiny. In fact, it's tiny enough that when I pack this up, it will go inside the pot, and that's where I will keep it till I need it. This little pouch unfolds to make the best camp water bucket that you will find. So when I go to get water at the end of the day, I also take this and just scoop it up into the stream or lake and go find somewhere to hang it. So when you just need a little water to rinse your hands off, or if you just want some water to wet a rag and wipe your face, this thing is a game changer. I never travel without it. Keep a multi-purpose soap for both cleaning my pots and dishes as needed, as also cleaning myself. I enjoy using the Sea to Summit Wilderness Wash. We use the Platypus water filtration system. So the one that we have in this bag is a 4-liter kit. And so it has the bag for dirty water, it has the bag for clean water, it has the filter, and then 2 hoses to connect the whole system. It is a gravity-fed water system. Now, along this trail this year, I will exclusively be filtering water as I go and just using smart water bottles or plastic water bottles. In past years, I have used a CamelBak. I generally use a CamelBak when water is more scarce so that I can load up a couple liters within the CamelBak and have an additional bottle. But at least for the 2 trips that we're doing this summer, they look to be fairly available water all along the route, whether following a creek or a lake. And so I'm going to just shed a few ounces for this summer and stick with carrying this on the outside of my pack, filtering water probably once or twice before I get to my campsite, just to keep my overall water level down. Now, I do have an emergency kit, and it's comprised of basically 3 things. So I have a first aid kit, I have a fire water kit, and then I also have a repair kit. So in my hand here is I have just a very simple Ziploc, and it has some backup emergency items. So even though I do have a lighter for my fuel, I do carry a set of matches in case that doesn't work. This is also a little flint that I just keep in this bag. I have 2 fire starter blocks in case I was in a situation and I really did need to start a fire. And then if for some reason that filter crapped out and I just couldn't get any clean water, I do carry 2 little micro pure MPI tablets to do some water treatment if I was in a dire situation and again my platypus filter wasn't working. That is one part of my emergency kit. The second part is first aid. You will notice it's another Ziploc bag. You can buy first aid kits at any of the sporting goods stores. I have found that it's just easier for me to put together the things that I really need. The few things that are in my first aid kit are most above and beyond is Advil. I carry a lot of Advil for when you get those aches and pains. I do carry Loperamide and Zofran. I haven't had to use it while backpacking. Basically an anti-diarrheal and an anti-vomiting medication just in case that started happening while I'm out on a backpacking trip. So that's in here. I carry a few Sudafed just in case I get a cold or congestion. A few Band-Aids with some alcohol wipes. And then lastly, around the pencil here in the plastic bag is a very long piece of Leuko tape. It comes in a very big roll. I don't need that much, but this is great for blisters, bandages, any type of adhesion to the skin. That essentially is my first aid kit. And then the last few pieces that I carry, also in the same little pouch that I put all these pouches in, is I do have my field repair kit for my air mattress. I do have duct tape roll for any other repairs. And I also have this little combination whistle and compass that I will put into an easy to reach place in case of, for some reason I need to use the whistle or I get lost and have to use the compass. I do have kind of my electronics bag. So I have a little green bag, and in that bag I carry a 20,000 milliamp charger. So this allows me to charge my phone, which I take and primarily use for photos and videos. And it's also important to have in case my Garmin will need to probably charge this a couple times as well. In this bag, I also keep the charger cords for both those devices handy. Also carry a flashlight. So I should have this, but I rarely use it, and I've contemplated not bringing one. But on that slim chance that my phone was dead, I'd rather be safe than sorry. So it's always recommended to bring at least one headlamp. So we have a bear vault, and we'll use that to pack our food and scented items. However, where I'm going this summer, it's not required. And so when it's not required, I prefer to use the Ursack. So we have 2 of these. Outdoor hygiene. So a couple things that I carry is I usually carry a pack of disposable wipes. This summer I bought these Gaia Combat wipes. They're outdoor wipes for women. This is what I'll use to wipe my face, kind of wipe off my body each night, particularly after a hot, sweaty day. They can also double as toilet paper if you run out, but I do usually carry a small roll of toilet paper. So I'll primarily be using these for body wipes and face wipes just to clean myself up. As we said, also I'll carry a roll of toilet paper. And as you use this roll, the toilet paper, if you're following LNT, and you always should, will go inside my handy Ziploc bag. I always choose to apply some tape. Here I'm just using some blue painter's tape in my garage. In the past I've used duct tape. For the sole purpose is I don't necessarily want to see my toilet paper that I use, so I put it inside this bag so I can pack it in and pack it out. Going number 2, it's really important to have a good trowel. We ordered this one, I think, off of Amazon. This one is a Vargo titanium trowel, so it's very lightweight. But what I really love about this trowel is the serrated edges, which make it really easy when you're digging your cat hole in really hard and rocky soil. So one of the things that I also use, it's a really inexpensive, the other thing is you also need is some hand sanitizer for when you're done going to the bathroom. It's a good way to wash your hands if you're out on the trail and don't have that water bucket around. The other thing that I carry from a hygiene standpoint is just a very simple bandana. I put a little clip on the corner of my bandana. It hangs off my backpack, and this bandana serves one purpose, and it is essentially a pee rag. At the end of each day, I just rinse it off in a stream or a lake and hang it on the tree to dry, and it's always dry by the next day. Very cheap, very inexpensive, it does the trick. Next up is I do have a little toiletry bag. I keep a little gray bag, and what goes into that gray bag is kind of expected essentials. So I have my toothbrush and a little toothpaste container. If I happen to have a little hotel mouthwash, I'll use it. I do start out carrying my sunscreen in there, but this will end up going into little pouches on my pack, lip balm and a face sunscreen. I do carry a larger tube in the back of my bag. I just feel with my fair complexion, you can never have too much sunscreen, so we'll also have that larger tube. One thing that I found is a nifty comb and mirror that I bought at the dollar store for $1. And then the last thing that I put into this, and it's really important for me, the Diamox prescription. I do suffer from altitude sickness. It does take me a couple of days to acclimate, and I can get acclimated, but oftentimes if I'm not there 2 or 3 days before, it has caused me in the past to become very ill. I only take this for about the first 2 to 3 days on trail, depending on where I'm at. If I stay below altitudes of 8,000 feet, I'm fine. But if I go above it, I do need to take this for a couple days, and so therefore I do keep this within my toiletry bag. Clothing items, and that's really the last few things to show you here, is a good pair of water shoes. I will tell you I've made a couple changes over the years. These last summer I went back old school to just a pair of Tevas. I found that these were great for not only a good camp shoe, but whenever I get done hiking, I wear these around town and everybody's wearing Tevas again, so I feel kind of hip and young. They don't really weigh very much at all. And with the straps, I usually just strap them on to one of those outside straps on my pack and let them flop around. One of the things I prefer to do at night is change into a sleep set. So when I go out on the trail, what I wear on day 1 is what I wear out on day 5 or 6. I just change in and out of those clothes the whole time. But when I get ready to sleep at night and crawl in my clean sleeping bag, I do like to put on something clean just to sleep in. So I do bring a set of merino wool pants and a merino wool long sleeve shirt. These are both 150 smart wool pieces. What's great about these two is not only are they my sleep set, but if for some reason it's really, really cold, they double as a base layer that I can put on. So they are multi-purpose, and I keep these in a separate bag. With that, I also bring an extra pair of socks, underwear, and a sports bra. Carry a pair of shorts in there. They double as a second pair. It gets really hot. If I want to swim, and they're in there and they're not very big, they don't take up very much room. I do my layering. I generally start out with a tank top or a shirt and some type of fleece pullover as my first 2 layers, and I always head out on the trail with that on. And then what goes in my backpack is my Patagonia Nano Puff. So this is really for evenings, mornings, or if the temperature drops. The last and most important piece, no matter where you go, is to have a good rain jacket. I've had a couple, but this is the one that I have settled on in the last year. It is an Arc'teryx, I believe it is the SL jacket. I can tell you that last summer we hiked on the last day for 8 miles, and it rained on us the entire time for roughly about 4 hours. I wore this jacket for 4 hours in the pouring rain, and it kept me completely dry. And it also makes an excellent wind break as well if it's windy. So that's the jacket that I roll up and throw in my bag. In terms of cold weather, I do bring a pack of gloves, and then I also opt to bring a buff that I can either put around my neck to keep warm. I can also pull it up over my head to make kind of a hat if it's really cold. So it's multi-purpose, and I've switched to using this versus just carrying a wool winter cap so they can kind of save some space and room. Have a good camp towel. I started using this last summer. It's nice to just have one towel that you can wipe wet hands, wipes dishes off, anything that you need to wipe down, dries really quickly. I rinse it out each night, hang it up on a tree. It's clipped on the back of my backpack and it dries as you go. I also carry just a very inexpensive sit-upon. What I find is if you want to sit down and have lunch, and if it's wet or damp or rocky, it's nice just to have a little pad to put your butt on. Also doubles really nice as a doormat when you're trying to climb in and out of the tent. List additions for this summer, and this is a luxury item and is adding about a pound of weight, is the Helionox Zero chair. I saw a few backpackers have this chair last summer. and I was really excited to try it. So we each have one. I am going to sacrifice a pound to bring it with me. I'll report back at the end of the summer whether it was worth it or not. The thing is, I carry just a little pouch to put my ID, a credit card, some cash, just as I'm moving around with my backpack, so I can kind of keep my essentials here. And last but not least, when probably the most important thing is a set of hiking poles. That my tent system does not come with poles. The Z-Pack tent, and that's one of the reasons why it's so light, is it's designed to work with hiking poles. And so it is important that in order to use that tent, you have to have adjustable hiking poles. It gives you recommended heights to adjust your poles to, and then you can use it to set up your tent. So very important not to leave without the hiking poles, or there won't be no tent. And with that, the only thing that I'm missing from this pack is the food that goes into my earth sack, a couple water bottles to carry the water, the bottle of wine to go in the pouch. And I think I'm ready to go. Wish me luck.